Okay, so this will be a quick demo about how I find out some pretty interesting properties of the Pydantic library. So we have a binary file format which we would like to read in, and we have to read lots of attributes and nodes and everything, and we store them in various models in a Pydantic models. So all of this model, this attribute model, and every such thing is a Pydantic model at the highest level of the inheritance tree. And yeah, it was horribly slow. I think it was 2 hours to measure it at least with the inbuilt profiling tool of the PyCharm IDE. So it was horribly slow. And right now, if I just run this test, which was again 2 hours long at the first time, it basically took a couple of seconds, I think. So it's 1.5 seconds. So it's a quite beefy speed up. And yeah, what did I do? I just run this kind of profiling things, and after that I click here and open in FilePath, and yeah, it shows this little window. I don't know why it's this complicated to open it in the browser, but anyway, it's a good way to go, and then you will be navigated into the Explorer to the file where it is located. And after that, I copied this pstats file because it basically stores the profiling. And just a quick note that you don't have to wait all the way for the whole profiling to take place, because if you stop it with this rectangle button, and then it will also create this profile file, so you don't have to wait for the 2 hours every time you change something. Just wait enough to capture the changes. Okay, after you copy the file into a suitable location, I use this gproof to dot and this dot tool to create a nice visualization, and it's basically is written, I think, on this yes, on this page. Yeah, the URL is here if you would like to check it. I try to not to forget to link it into the video, but the URL is here. And yeah, basically you just install I should I say I don't know the dot tools. It's part of Plotwiz or something like that. So it's part of some library, but I forget already the name. Anyway, you run this and it will create you a bunch of files. Let's me navigate there. So this is the original one, and I created this dot, which is basically a text-based description of the graph itself, and then you can run dot against it, and it will create a diagram which will visualize um, the speed and the call frequencies of each method. And by this I can deduce that my bottleneck is here at the deep copy and in the reconstruct and so on. So this part of the process, and it's in the extract attributes, but the extract attributes doesn't do anything heavy. It just extract the attributes, but it's basically an if statement. I could show you that. So if I close this, yeah, so it's this one, and it doesn't do anything too much to consolidate this very slow execution. So anyway, the problem was that anytime when you pass a model, a Pydantic model, to any methods, it will be copied as not as a reference but as a value, so it will be copied, and everything will be deep copied, which is under it, which is of course takes a lots of time, a lots of memory, and a lots of calls to the copy library, which is shown here. So we have to eliminate this, and the trick was that it's somehow a bug, or at least a bad smell for the Pydantic library, because I found the solution in this Stack Overflow questions. But basically, anytime when you copy it, it's create a copy. Anytime you pass it into a method, it's create a copy. But you can control this on this copy on model validation. So my conclusion and my idea is that when you pass it into another attributes, it automatically validates itself and try to assert that it is in the correct type and run the automated validations, even if there is none, but the rounds are there. So basically, it's try to validate itself, and of course, by default, on each validation, it creates a new copy of itself. But you can set this to false, and that's right, that is what I am done. I basically set all these little chunks, this string table model, reference model, maybe not this one, I maybe left this out. Yeah, no. So I just basically add this config property for this one, and for all the attributes, the string attributes, and the integer attributes, the float attributes, and so on and so forth. So I made them copied by reference, not by value, as its default should be. Okay, and after running it again, it will done its job, and it's basically like you say, like you see, it's a quite beefy speed up. Yeah, and yeah, how do I generate these images? Yeah, I show that. Okay, so that's all. I think it's a quite nice thing to know.